Hi, I'm going to show you how to log into RStudio on Tetralith. Where RStudio is a programming environment to program R in, it looks like this. And Tetralith is a cluster, an HPC cluster maintained by NSC. The steps are already in the table of content to the right. You need to start a remote desktop environment, start an interactive session, load the modules, start it, ignore the updates, allow automatic crash reporting, and then we're done. I'm going to walk you through it and make it a bit bigger. There. And let's take a look what we need to do first. 1. Start a Tetralith remote desktop environment. Alright. So this is documented by NSC well, and there's a video too. To do so, I start ThinLink. I use a remote client, a remote ThinLink client. No, I use a local ThinLink client for this remote desktop environment. Let's get me logged in here. Now I need to have my two-factor number. Because you do need a graphical environment to run RStudio, because RStudio is quite graphical. 473, enter. So Tetralith is now showing up. There it is. I'm going to put this at the right side of the screen. I'm going to put the documentation at the left side of the screen. So within Tetralith, this is the remote desktop environment of Tetralith. Start a terminal, sure, so terminal's here, there. Within the terminal, start an interactive session with 2 cores. And here is like an example in like a general language. And here is an example how this looks in practice. I'm going to copy paste this, there, there. And we're going to modify it to my needs. So I only want 1 hour. Actually 10 minutes is already enough. This account, let's see if it works. If not, I'll find an account that works. Yeah, sure. So if you don't know your account, ProInfo will give you an account that works. While it's looking, yeah, so now we can take that account. There, I'm going to use this account instead. I can just modify it 25, 22, and here we need a 95. And this allows us to have an interactive session where we can do heavier calculations, and we should, because RStudio is a heavy program on its own. We see we are now on a compute node and no longer on a login node, because a login node looks like this, Tetralith 2 or Tetralith 1 or 2, 3, 4. Whereas a compute node has n132 or n and some kind of can be very big number. That's a compute node for you. Good. So I'm on a compute node now, and we're going to need to load the modules that we need. So we're going to copy paste this line there and paste. There we press enter. And it loads both R and it loads RStudio. And it gives you like some warnings and some information about what's going on. Next step, start RStudio. Also just type RStudio, all lowercase. And now RStudio will start. Now it may ask you if it wants to what to do with updates. I don't have this question. Sometimes it will ask you if you want to do automatic crash reporting. I don't have that. Instead, I am done now. I am in RStudio on Tetralith. So that does conclude my video. I have just shown you how to run RStudio on Tetralith. And with that, I wish you a very good day. Bye.